Hello, good morning, good evening, hello. So today we're going to talk about eyebrow blocking, and I'm going to show you two different techniques or two different methods, one on each of my eyebrows. It's worth just noting that before you're going to do a really good eyebrow block, you need to remove any excess like oil or whatnot from the skin. So get yourself your micellar water or toner, and just get rid of any excess oil, especially if you've moisturized around the brow area. It's going to help whatever you're using stick a lot better. So the first side, I'm going to talk to you about spirit gum and wax, which is like the kind of old school method of removing the eyebrow. And people seem to freak out about this, and they're always like, oh, because they think that spirit gum on the eyebrows and wax is going to pull out eyebrow hairs. It won't. If you're doing this correctly and you're removing it correctly, you're not gonna lose hair from it. Now, this technique is best for longevity. So by doing this, you're gonna be able to do longer periods of blending and layering without disturbing the makeup underneath. It will last a lot longer. It's a little bit more waterproof, but it is a little bit trickier to do it. Okay. Now with this technique, both are very similar, but with this one, what I want you to do is comb your eyebrow. Now I don't exactly have much of a brow because 90s, whatever. But I want you to brush your eyebrow hairs up. We're going to try and create the flattest kind of illusion possible. So can I zoom in? No, I can't. That's helpful, isn't it? Hang on, let me figure this out. I don't know how to zoom in. I'm sorry about it. Whatever. You can kind of see where I'm going. Anyway, you know this. I'm just reiterating and recapping it. So wax and spirit gum is going to give you a longer lasting brow block, and it's going to completely eradicate any texture. You're going to put wax over the top of it to create a new kind of second skin, but you want to flatten the hairs as much as possible. So you're going to start with your spirit gum, and you're going to just lightly brush that over your brow, and you want it to get nice and tacky. And then what I want you to do with a clean mascara wand is push the hair up. And as I push up, I kind of roll the bristles a little bit. It just helps to bring them up. And it will very quickly dry. That's crazy. Werewolf. So once you have put your spirit gum on and you flatten those hairs up by putting them upwards from your side profile, you'll have a very flat surface. But what you will have is the kind of ridgy texture in between the hair. So you're going to get wax. And the most common mistake when people are working with the scar wax to do this is they get a huge, great big lump of it. You don't need that. You need a tiny, tiny little amount. I've got this on some tweezers. If you've got a sculpting tool, even better. A tiny bit of wax. And I just want you to basically imagine you're buttering some bread. You're spreading it on. And any places that you find that you might have a little bit too much, you scrape it off again. Especially around those edges, scrape off any excess. I can't really see, I need to get a little mirror. I'm looking in my phone. Okay. Not too bad. I'm now going to go in with a second layer of spirit gum. Two layers, even maybe three, is brilliant. And that is going to give you such a smooth, flawless eyebrow block. This is really good if you are going to be doing a character makeup on the top that might involve like a lot of products, lots of creams and body paints and things layered up on top, because it doesn't move. It really does stay there, and it stays there all day. When that is dry, I've got another tiny amount. In fact, that's too much. Half that. And I'm going to do a second layer of wax. Just to make sure I've created a whole new surface. And I'm pushing these eyebrow hairs up because that is how I will get the flattest texture possible, by pushing them up. If I do this and scrape the wax across my eyebrow with the hairs laid on top of each other, I will very quickly build up a kind of ridge, and I don't want that. I just want this to look like there's nothing there at all. Scraping off around the edge any stuff that I don't want, and then one final layer of spirit gum, thin. And it's worth taking the time to do this properly, because if you block the brows out properly, if you're doing creative, high fashion, character stuff, theatrical stuff, special effects, like whatever you're doing, by removing that eyebrow, you've gone from having this much space to having this much space. It gives you so much more of an option. That's not a sentence. It gives you so many more options with regards to what you can do. So whilst that spirit gum's drying and doing its thing, I'm going to talk to you about glue. Now there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you're looking at industry methods of removing eyebrows, if you were filming in HD, close up, on a big scale, then you would possibly have a silicone prosthetic piece that completely just covers the whole brow area and looks like skin. If you're doing something quick, you can use soap. You can block out an eyebrow just with soap alone. You can use things like soap brows or pear soap, which is the same thing essentially. And you can scrape the soap over the brow to completely eradicate it. Kind of the same as what I've done here. I can't speak today. Oh my God. So similar to what I've done here, you can do it with soap and you get the same effect. The only drawback with soap is it's not going to last as long, and you know, if you start putting body paints and wet stuff over the top, you might encounter a problem. But just because everybody does it and everybody sees it, and if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, then you know what this is. So it's worth noting, if you want to remove eyebrows with glue, your bog standard like Pritt stick isn't going to work. I've tried it many times. Yes, you get a similar result, but it's just not as good. It just doesn't work as well with kind of like random B&M glue stick. If you want to successfully block out the eyebrows, then you do need this Elmer's, you know, disappearing purple jobby, which you can get them on eBay, you can get them on Amazon for like £1.50 or whatever. I don't know why it works better, it just does. But normal Pritt stick I find is too sticky, whereas this is more of a translucent, like it's more of like a film as opposed to a sticky surface. So the difference between this and this is going to last all day. This will last quite well, but you will start to see some breakdown if you're not going to be putting like a lot of stuff on top of it. Also, on a professional basis, this is a funny one. It's like a grey area. Like, yes, is gluing down eyebrows is done in the industry, but as far as being a professional, fully insured makeup artist, this isn't going to be covered. This is not a cosmetic grade product. This is a craft product. So, you know, if you've been employed to go on the television and you rock up with one of those, I don't know, think of other options. But this is brilliant for like quick coverage, smooth coverage. So I do lick the end, which you shouldn't do. The difference with this one is you need to layer it up and you need to kind of work the glue in, but you're not going to spike the eyebrows up. I like to lay them in the natural kind of direction and let them sit on top of each other, because I find you get a better, flatter finish. Because this one's got wax, you cover up any ridges of hair, whereas this one, you don't. So if you stick them up, you're going to have texture. So it's better to smooth. And that's that. So I let that sit and I let that dry. All I've done is work it over the top. I let that dry for a minute, and then I'll probably repeat that process 2 or 3 more times. That's my second layer. And whilst it's drying down and it starts to go clear, it doesn't stay purple, I'm just going to clean up around my edges. Hang on, let's get a mirror. This is a really cool technique. It does work. There's a reason why people that do a lot of creative looks and why drag queens use this. It's quick, it's easy, it comes off nicely, and it does the job. It's just not going to work over an 8-hour filming period as well as this. So, like I said, there are other ways that you can remove eyebrows, but as far as kind of quick and efficient ways, you've got spirit gum and wax technique, and then you've got your purple glue. What I do once both of these are fully dry is then I'm going to powder puff, press powder in, let it dry, dust off, and then build up my products. So I'll come back and show you what it looks like in a minute and you can see. So I've got light layers of concealer on, no colour corrector. Normally you would put like a warm tone colour corrector on to block out any like shadow underneath, like reds or oranges. But I've got light layers, of concealer, and I'm just powdering because I'm going to go and do a look over this in a minute. So I don't need to put a ton on there, but I'm just letting the powder sit for a little bit and bake in there. But a very similar result with both. That one's probably more smooth. This one just needs a little bit more concealer. But they both give you the same hairless result. That's it. See you.